Good morning, everybody. July 5. It is coming on 7 a.m. I hope everybody enjoyed their very long weekend, very much needed. Hope you enjoyed your 4th of July. It is extremely hot globally. It is extremely hot globally. So I want to remind you to both stay hydrated and also make sure your pets are hydrated. It is ridiculously hot around the world. 2 days ago was the hottest day ever recorded in history globally. Yesterday, same thing. Today, again. So stay hydrated. Okay, into where we are. Again, because we had the long weekend, this is not as reliable as it would normally be. However, it is still very reliable and needs to be respected, and that is that we are oversold as we are heading into 7 a.m. Futures are oversold and in on the 1 hours, and they have all made contact with their lower Keltner channels. So again, it is something that needs to be made aware of, but it is not as reliable as it normally is. So pull that aside. Another one that I will remind you on, and I would not expect that it would be something to use as a very strong point today. We have three green closes in a row. All right. Today will be the fourth. We have a gap of about 18 points to the downside, which some people will again start to look at and say, this is fantastic. We've got a gap to the downside. Apologies here while I scroll you up. And I take you to July 5 of last year, after we had the long weekend. We gapped down 33 points. We had a 90-point range, and we wound up closing green on the day, above the previous day's close and above where we opened up, very obviously. 30-point gap down, we wound up closing green, up 38 points from that. So it again is not something that I want to make as a reliable source, but I do want to bring it to your attention. You do have your three green closes in a row, and you have that gap that needs to be filled. And more importantly, your VIX. The VIX was so gentle on Monday, so gentle. And now here we are with a gap up. So again, the gap over here on the VIX, it's right at that big 1451. These gaps on these VIXs have filled every single day. So again, need to be aware of it and obviously be very determined about the amount of risk that you're going to put on the table if you are going to be trading today. The trade that I've explained and I'm more confident in is that July 14th trade on the SPX and the SPY for that gap that we have. QQQ, a little bit of a move down, 370.29 where we closed. We're down here at 368.60. A little bit of a gap right on that 10% from the all-time highs line. So again, still looking for some downside to be coming, but today being the first day after the holiday, I'd be very lenient about what kind of risk is out there. IWM, same thing. Came up to that 188.90 over there on Monday, kissed it, rejected it, moving down to the downside. We'll see what we get out of the IWM, which leaves us here with the SPX. And again, this is the only focus point that I have on short-term view. That's why I had those July 14s. The 4,400 puts over on the SPX. Same thing over there with the SPY, only for this gap and to see what we get out of this gap if we can get anything to trigger below it with the 5-day, the 10-day, the 20-day all over there, bringing us down there to that 4370 area. Full moon did take place. Full moon happened there on Monday. Where are you, moons? Where are you, moons? No, moons are over here. Sorry. Full moon took place there on Monday, July 3rd. So again, we will see whether or not the full moon gets a trigger as we have had on every full moon going back more than 5 years. You can go back 8 years, you can go back 9 years. This all looks here. I'll bring a couple things to your attention later on, but again, you have that Tesla already from earlier in the week that I shared out. And as for today, again, got that gap to be filled up there at 44.55. It is the first day after a holiday. It should be a very light volume day. You have that gap down on the VIX. Let's make a plan that even though we are here, we should be looking at getting a gap filled 44.59.